are they right? And this is who God is choosing? And is this how God is? So I have to figure that out, because if they're right, I don't know that I want anything to do with this God. But if I'm right, then I can't have anything to do with this church.
So we are in Harlem today shooting our first episode of this docuseries, and we're gonna shoot Janice Legata, who is a personal friend of mine and also someone who's part of our community. And we're gonna unpack her story today, which I think will be something. Janice, take one, Community Conversations, New Evangelicals.
I grew up non-denominational. The church that I was in basically came out of the ALG from the time I was like 6 until I left and went to Hillsong College. Some of the women from my church went to New Zealand to do some ministry, and then they came back with like this CD, this Hillsongs thing, and yeah, so we started using the All Things Are Possible CD. So started using those songs in worship. Just something about it. I liked it. Like, I had been that super Christian kid in the sense that like my parents didn't want us listening to secular music. And so here's this new, I'm like, oh, this feels fun. This feels a little more modern. I've been out of high school for a few years. I would just kind of go back and forth. So I would go to school for a while, get bored, go to work. Found information about the college and was like, oh, that seems cool, but that's Australia. Like that's far, far away. I was like, all right, I can't get this out of my head. So I'm going to talk to my mom about it, and she'll be like, no. And then that's all no. That's not it. I remember she was washing dishes. I was like, I'm thinking about, going back to school again. Hillsong has this college, so, maybe I might want to go to Australia. And then she was like, yeah, okay. Sure, that sounds like an idea. And I was like, what? So she was my out, and she didn't give it to me. So I was like, I guess that's where I'm supposed to go. I remember when I got there, they were having a conference that weekend. So when I got there, like I just walked kind of into the middle of this conference in their auditorium. And so it was just overwhelming. I was like, I had never been in a regular church space that was just this big. I ended up staying in Australia for 4.5 years. I had a friend who was from New York, so she invited me to come to New York. So went to visit her, and I was like, oh, I like it. I like the vibe. So when I have to come back to the States, I think I'll just move to New York. I moved here in October 2009. I knew that Hillsong did their Vision Sunday every February. And I remember them in the lead up to it being like, oh, everyone, make sure to watch Vision Sunday.
What if we were able to start a brand new Hillsong church that would have significant impact in New York City? In fact, in 2010, that's exactly what we're looking at doing. We're looking at finding ways to do all of this and much, much more.
I had written in my journal before I left Australia, I was like Hillsong New York, like someone must be thinking it, like it's got to happen, right? And I've got to be a part of it someday when it does.
If you're cool with it, I would appreciate if you shared the journal that you had in 2009 about Hillsong New York City.
If I humble myself and remind everyone that I wasn't always here.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, so this is an excerpt from my journal from June 2nd, 2009. Hadn't left Australia yet. So it's starting to hit me how much I'm going to miss Hillsong. It needs to exist in New York. And I want to be a part of seeing it happen and seeing it established. Come on, God, someone must be thinking it. Hillsong New York, how awesome would that be someday? Being in there from day one at all the different stages. So initially, just a launch team member. I don't know if I ever made it to like the core team. Like I've always been in the room where it happens, always been kind of on the edge, but was never like, oh no, like she's part of us. Like always just kind of going back to that old choir feeling, right? Where you should just be happy to be here. And you are. And Carl was really good about making people feel guilty if they wanted the title, right? And being very much about like, we're a very small staff, and it's not about your title, it's not about your role, it's just about what God needs you to do in this moment.
Right now, we would have just a handful of people who have put their hand up saying, I'm ready to do whatever it takes to see the gospel spread in the city.
I was on the out group, I think from their perspective, just initially, just on the basis of being a single woman, but then especially a single Black woman. Like I just didn't fit the profile. So I was stage managing, so leading the stage managing team, leading a Connect group, writing the Connect group studies. Eventually I did get put on the worship team, so then was part of the worship team. Ghostwriting for Josh Kimes. And then, I don't know, race consulting for Carl. And that was, yeah.
Sorry, race consulting?
Yeah, so being his Black whisperer. So just talking with him about equality issues. And initially, honestly, it started more to do with like single women and women. And then, just talking about race and, when different things would come up either in the world or within the church, helping him figure out how to, now I know, just kind of keep the Black community on the hook and just keep us hanging on. I remember first texting him about, this new pastor had come straight from Australia and was like on the platform immediately. And I remember he was emceeing this Wednesday night service and he was so bad. And I was like, oh, if this guy can come here like and be this bad, surely if we have openings on the roster, then he can give someone else a shot. And so I remember texting and being like, hey, like if we have openings on the roster, maybe next time you could consider, a woman or a person of color. Not even wild enough to suggest a woman of color at that point, like just one or the other. And I remember like sending that with like fear and trembling. Like, I don't know how this is gonna go. His response was, oh, I think that's a great idea. Let's pray for God to send, that person. And so looking back on it now, I can see the response I sent back to him that was just like, oh, like, okay, great, good to know, and yeah, let's be praying. And then a message I'd sent to my friends, for him, I said, look what this jerk said, like, this is kind of bullshit, but still very reverent and like thankful that he's even allowing me to have this conversation. That was very much the dynamic with us. And towards the end, like he would just get more snippy, and would just try to pull rank more often. And so like he would just say things that like, oh, you're just being a dick. You're just being a dick right now. Like, I think he liked me because he was surrounded by yes men, and I just wasn't that. It was like 2012, I think, when I first sent that text to Carl about, like, hey, can mix it up a little bit. And that exact issue is what took me out eventually. It's like, oh, I think something is wrong here, because this is it's not healthy for me. Like, I don't know what it is to be a white man. I can imagine, but I don't know what it is to see the world in such a way that, like, you just see yourself all the time. So I think you don't even notice that you're seeing yourself all the time. But from this perspective, like, it is very obvious that, like, God keeps choosing the same kind of person, and I am nothing like this kind of person. So it is so damaging, it is so harmful to have to be like, oh, I don't know what it is about me or people who look like me, but we're obviously not what God wants. Like, you guys talk about this amazing, creative, God who just created this vast universe and all these different things, but every time he wants a pastor, he only reaches into this one bucket. Like, that's crazy. And you might be right. And if you are, then this isn't for me. But if you're not, then you guys aren't doing things right. And again, like I said, there's been cracks the whole time. So it's not like I ever thought you guys were perfect, but now we're getting further and further away. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what here is good, what is right. I grew up in this, so it wasn't something I could just leave alone. And so, yeah, I'm not going to church anymore, but I'm still reading things, still thinking a lot about all of this, because, again, I grew up in this stuff, and by all accounts, I'm in the wrong now. Like, even if I'm right about the race stuff and right about the queer stuff and right about whatever, I'm wrong because I'm not in church. And so now I have to justify not being in church. I don't really label myself as anything. I kind of let other people decide. I don't know, I just really believe in the here and now and who's here now.